This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. So good to hear those words. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Monday, July 6th. I'm Tori, here with Al.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Transitioning back into the work week.
I know, back into the life again.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a great jumpsuit.
I really like it.
I do too. I could fix cars or go to a garden party.
There you go. You can do both.
I can do both. You're absolutely right. But the one and the only Stephanie joins us from home. Stephanie had a birthday recently, and I want to ask, you went climbing on a mountain, and I was like, what? I thought you were so high up. Tell me about it.
Oh my gosh, yes. I went rock climbing in Telluride. It's within Colorado. It's a few-hour drive away. And I went just myself and a guide. We were the only people on the mountain. It was incredible.
The pictures are
scary,
crazy.
Exhilarating, but I loved it. I loved it.
Of course you did. She's like
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm glad somebody's doing it, keeping the economy going for that guide, but I'll stare at the mountain, take a picture, and get back in my air-conditioned car.
I love Al's hashtag, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. All right, speaking of I don't know about that, Kanye West made a surprising announcement over the weekend. He's running for president. He tweeted, "We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I am running for president of the United States." Now, some celebrities were quick to mock Kanye, like Paris Hilton, who tweeted her own Paris for President promo video. Tiffany Haddish also echoed Kanye's announcement and even added that Dave Chappelle was her running mate. Octavia Spencer was not having it, tweeting too much foolishness today with the hashtag sit all the way down. But Kanye seems to have the support of his good friend Elon Musk, who tweeted that the rapper has his full support. Now, Kanye would still need to register with the Federal Election Commission, present a platform, and collect enough signatures to get on the ballot for November. And he's already missed the deadline to run as an independent in many states. So should we be taking him seriously, Al? First off, did you, when you first read the tweet, take it seriously, and should we be taking it? What was your first response?
Oh, I thought he was serious.
Yeah.
I definitely think he's serious. I mean, you think about Kanye, all the goals that he set, he's achieved.
Yeah.
You know, he said he wanted to win a Grammy. He did that. He said he was starting a clothing line. Everybody laughed. It became very successful. He's now partnered with Gap. So he does have some cachet behind him. He's married to a billionairess, a billionaire.
You guys know her name is Kim Kardashian.
And
I think
her sister
right.
also has a ton of social influence. And I think people should take this more seriously than they are.
Interesting. I can't imagine what, Lindsay, you must think of our country that Kanye is running. And then Steph, excuse me, what do you think about Kanye West running? You must think we're crazy.
What do I think? Okay, so I'll answer your question that you asked, Al. First of all, am I surprised? Absolutely not. Kanye is a man of his word. Like Al said, there's multiple things that he's mentioned throughout his career and he's followed through with. He said this originally back in 2015. It was at the MTV Music Awards, and he said, one day I'm going to run for president. He actually specified that it would be in 2024.
Right.
So he's 4 years early. But, you know, this is something that he's mentioned quite a few times. I think, you know, he's a very interesting character. The financial isn't necessarily a worry for him. As Al mentioned, his family, his wife, have got the most followers out of anyone in the entire world. She's the most followed person, not to mention the multi-billions and billions of dollars that they've got behind them. So the signatures, they're going to come in like, what, a day? I'm not worried about that. Obviously, he's just said a tweet right now. He's not actually put any of the motions into place. But do I think it's real? Yes. I mean, I remember being back in England when Brexit was first a discussion and Donald Trump said he was going to run for president, and I sat and I laughed and I thought, the day that a reality TV star goes for president, it's never going to happen. And are England going to Brexit from the EU? Never in a million years. Both those things happened, so who knows?
It's a really good point, actually. A lot of people say that you didn't think Trump was going to win. I just have to say, Kanye to me is someone who's more of a performance artist, and this seems more like something he's a hobby or almost like that, and then he sort of moves on. I don't see him being interested in actually governing and taking like 8 a.m. meetings and being followed in a schedule. But then again, as Steph said, Trump, I didn't think either. I laughed as well. So great point on both ends.
I think people want to just say I'm president, but they don't want to do all the work.
Yeah, you don't want to govern.
It's clearly not fun. You see how it ages all of them.
Oh, everyone looks terrible. Terrible. All right, speaking of presidents, the long-awaited Hamilton movie premiered on Disney Plus on Friday, and I watched it, and now I'm kind of a Hamil tool. Now the cancel crowd might be gunning for the popular musical. There are calls to cancel Hamilton over the founding father's role in the slave trade. So if you didn't know, Alexander Hamilton did not own slaves himself. He reportedly bought and sold them, though, for his in-laws. The musical also features Thomas Jefferson, who was a well-known slave owner, and of course our third president of the United States. I gotta be honest here. I think Hamilton is a phenomenal piece of work and art, and it's a great way to teach. And I think it's a piece of work that it has its moment in time, and it tries to do the best it can, but you can't capture everything. So I find this cancel culture of Hamilton so bizarre and so silly. Al, what do you think?
You know, it's just, this is what everything in our culture is gotcha. So anything that comes up, especially anything that's based in the past, is going to be, well, you did this, well, he did this. So I understand that we are seeing monuments fall, and I understand that we're digging into the past, but I think we're digging into that because that past has been so whitewashed that we do need to examine certain things. We need to go in depth rather than just learning 1 or 2 sentences about these men and move forward. I think Hamilton can be used as a tool to teach and get people interested in real history.
Yeah, when they have the congressional debates, Steph, they have like rap battles, and I'm sure students would be much more interested. Also, when they premiered, they had a black George Washington, a black Thomas Jefferson. It was insane. There were no stars in that Broadway show, and it was a huge hit. What do you think?
Oh, I agree exactly with what you're saying, both of you guys. Obviously, when the creator made this years ago, there wasn't the movement, there wasn't the change, there wasn't as much cancel culture as there is now. And I believe if you're purposely going out and hurting people, you're purposely saying things that are disrespectful, that are rude and hurtful, and you're very aware of that, that's one thing. With this, times are changing, we're becoming more woke, so to speak, and obviously people are calling out for that change. I think it'd be adequate if Disney just maybe had like a screen at the start saying obviously a bit of a rundown, a bit of a history about it before it went into the musical itself. But they can't rewrite the musical and they can't change it. I mean, this is being seen by millions of people. It's won Tonys. It's won so many awards. Like you said, Tori, the actors are now household names.
Yeah, I know.
So like you said, I think this should be used as like an educational tool and something that we can all learn about moving forward and be proud that, you know, people are spotting all these things that years ago would have just been swept under the rug or ignored. So I think it's a good learning tool, like you said.
I think it's a great learning tool, and I also think it's ironic, as you said, because this play was seen to be the woke play. Do you know what I mean? Like, it had the black actors, it was colorblind about the casting, and then now people want to cancel culture the woke play. It's just like, slow down, pump the brakes. We gotta let education be education. And also, there is a line in Hamilton when he talks to Thomas Jefferson. It says, "You never paid for your labor. We know who actually did the planting," speaking about slaves. So there is information about that if you can read the lyrics. I had a hard time. All right, Big Brother is going ahead with season 22. Yay! The popular reality show is set to return this summer with an all-star cast. According to TMZ, all contestants will be tested for COVID-19 and then placed under a 2-week quarantine before entering the Big Brother house in LA. It's not clear when they will start shooting or who the cast will be. Steph, is this the perfect show for a pandemic because we're like all in a Big Brother moment?
You know what? Actually, yes, I think it is. I think people would tune in and watch, and I think people probably feel like they're all part of Big Brother right now. Let's be honest, we're not really leaving our homes. We're not all going back to work yet. Loads of things are still closed. So I feel like everyone's got their own little element of Big Brother going on at home. But you know what? I think it would be great. And I mean, I think it's safe for the people. They said that all of the contestants will be quarantined for 14 days before going into the house. And obviously, once you're in the house, there's no one coming in or out. There's no interaction with the outside world, so they'll be very safe. And hey, there's only so long that we don't go through every single show on Hulu and Netflix and everything else, so it gives us a bit of different viewing that's live and real, and we're seeing people going through what we're going through. It makes it relatable, you know? Yes,
and if Jeff can find Jordan and Jordan can find Jeff, maybe they'll find love and we can watch a romance and our hearts can bubble. Don't we need that, Al?
Yes, there he is.
Cute.
Oh God, why did we show this? We need a warning. There's Jordan. He went shirtless the entire time.
That's what's up. You gotta, if I look like that, I would too.
Schroeder, whatever. All right, Rihanna.
More like Shredder. Hello.
Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, moving on to Rihanna quickly. She's apparently isn't that interested in making new music these days. According to the Daily Mail, the singer is holding off on releasing a 9th studio album because she's making billions with her beauty brands instead. Riri is apparently launching a new skincare line to pair with her Fenty Cosmetics products and has a successful lingerie company as well. Ooh la la. The pandemic has made touring impossible, with one report saying the music industry could lose around $9 billion. Al, smart move, as you always say, right? Adapt, adapt, adapt. She's just like, that's not where the money is. Here it is.
Right, and I think this is what we've seen from a lot of entertainers that kind of used music as a way to get their name out there, to create their brand, to do what they really want to do. Jay-Z did it with Rockaware. Kanye did it with Yeezys. I wonder if people got into rap to do what they really want to do. Puffy is a businessman that happened to be into rap. So I think that this is, we're starting to look at rap as just startup capital to do the job you really want to do.
You know, I did stand up just to find a manager to get ahead.
Yeah, and it worked. Look at you now.
Jumpsuit and all.
There we go.
There you go. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
Introducing
And DBL. It sounds like Washington, D.C.'s NFL team is finally considering a name change. Thank the Lord, my hometown team has agreed to a thorough review of its name after growing pressure from fans and sponsors. The old name, which we are not saying, is a derogatory term for Native Americans. So what do you think the new name should be? I was around, oh, sorry about this piece of hair. I was around when the Washington Bullets became the Washington Wizards due to a lot of murder in D.C. Some things out there are Washington Monuments.
Yes.
Washington Warriors, but you like the Washington Red Tails.
Yes, I love that. It's a shout out to the Tuskegee Airmen. I think would help kind of fix a wrong with this by making it right. And they, more than anybody, embody that fighting spirit. And I just want people to remember when they look at this and they're like, oh, I'm attached to history. So many teams have changed their names. The St. John's Redmen are now the St. John's Red Storm. The Syracuse Orangemen are now the Syracuse Orange.
Right.
So it's happened. No one noticed. Last I checked, respect. Everybody's fine.
Yeah.
Let's do the right thing here. Just do the right thing.
Yeah, and if someone's saying as the marginalized people that they're upset about it, let's maybe try and focus on that. What I thought was interesting is FedEx, who owns the stadium they play in, themselves have said, we suggest you change the name.
Yeah, and Nike dropped their merchandise from the Nike store, so that's a problem.
That's an issue.
Yes.
It's an issue. All right, next on DBL, Brandon catches up with 2 stars from the HBO Max series Doom Patrol.
Oh.
Ooh, why their show is the kind of summer escape we need. Coming up next. Stalling for Rob with the camera.
Yeah,
there we go. He got it.
We get the wraparound shot because we stalled for Rob.
We all know that movement is
Welcome back to DBL. Al, after I say the name, go dun dun dun. Okay.
Got you.
The Doom Patrol.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good vibrato.
Thank you.
Is a group of superpowered freaks fighting for a world that has nothing to do with them. Well, now the group is back again to save the world, and Brandon caught up with some of the cast of the HBO Max show in today's DBL Spotlight.
Chatting with the stars.
Hey, what's going on?
Did you know that Niles is dying?
But we're all dying.
How old are you exactly?
139.
Dear God, he's practically dead.
Oh boy, here come the waterworks.
Diane Guerrero and Javan Wade, co-stars of the HBO Max series Doom Patrol. First and foremost, thank you for joining DBL.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so you guys play superheroes on TV, but in real life, you both have been on the front of the fight for social injustices. Diane, with you, it's immigration reform. Now, can you please tell me what was going through your head when you first heard the decision from the Supreme Court to uphold DACA?
It was a relief, really, because a lot of DACA recipients were going to lose that status, something that was so very precious to their livelihood, and to take it away would have been so reckless. And I'm so glad that our Supreme Court was on the right side of history on this one. And now I think it's just finding a more permanent solution.
Javan, you've been all over social media attending the Black Lives Matter movement rallies. So how do you continue to inspire change?
For me, it's about doing my part. I think if everyone kind of looks within and just says, what can I do? And understanding that nothing is too small. I think unity has been shown throughout this whole process, and the fact that we've come together and united, and I feel like this is now what's been happening this time around, and we're seeing change, we're seeing justice being served, and I think that now we just have to keep going, and I will keep doing my part in helping to keep that train moving forward.
Absolutely, and I applaud you both for the work that you do, and let's keep this fight going for sure.
You think I'm here to fight crime with you?
Yes!
Booyah.
All right, guys, there are so many DC comics out there. Which makes this one so different, but still fit into the DC Universe brand?
Doom Patrol is, you know, a new addition and is very, very different to anything that has been seen before. And I think that, you know, the weird, the wonderful, the wackiness of this show and having characters or having superheroes in which view themselves as anti-heroes, as, you know, not only are they anti-heroes, but they are anti-hero. They don't want to, you know, take what is usually a gift to most superheroes. They're actually, you know, pushing back on that gift and saying, I don't want this, I don't want to deal with this, because it's essentially a trauma, it's traumatic.
Very interesting. Diane, we know you from your roles from Jane the Virgin and Orange is the New Black, but in Doom Patrol, you play Crazy Jane, a superhero with multiple personalities and powers. So what was it like getting ready to play this character?
Well, really, I had to explore some of my own personal traumas and see how that would apply to a character this complex. And we are all so complex. And I think that figuring out how to be the superhero of your own mind and taking control of your actions and how that relates to the world is what's really going to make the difference for your life and others. And I think our show does that beautifully.
All right, thank you guys. Season 2 of Doom Patrol is out on HBO Max and DC Universe. Diane, Javan, thank you for joining Daily Blast Live.
Thank you
so much.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The bladder.
This from home. And before we go, Steph, we are remembering Broadway star Nick Cordero. He died yesterday after a very long battle with the coronavirus. He was just 41 years old. I'm 38. Al, you're 43. So, and Steph, how old are you? You just had a birthday. How old are you?
33.
Yeah, so very similar to our ages. Cordero was nominated for a Tony Award for his role in Bullets Over Broadway. He is survived by his wife, Amanda Klutz. She is also a Broadway dancer, and their one-year-old son, Elvis, who just turned 1. If you haven't been following Amanda's Instagram, she sort of documented the whole fight. He lost his leg, he was in the ICU, it was 91 days, he got a pacemaker, and we were all rooting for him so hard. He's such a good actor and a really good guy, but it shows you how serious this disease is, if anything. So we wanted to wish Nick and his family our prayers and our light and our love. And just speaking more of some sad news for country music fans, singer Charlie Daniels has passed away at the age of 83. The Country Music Hall of Famer was best known for his hit song, "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." He died this morning of a stroke. The lead members of the Charlie Daniels Band also played with the likes of Bob Dylan, Ringo Starr, and Leonard Cohen. Steph, how do you feel about Nick passing? I know you probably followed on Instagram his whole storyline.
I feel like it's really sad, and it just goes to show, I think, you know, our foot has maybe been a little off the gas with the COVID thing, because I feel like now things are starting to open up a little bit. We've seen all these really annoying and stupid videos of what we call a Karen throwing fits in Targets or other places because they don't want to wear a mask. And this is the reason why we really need to remember to respect other people, keep the distancing rule, and keep to maintain and practice social distancing. Poor Nick was so sick for 95 days, and like you said, he lost his leg. He was in an induced coma. His partner Amanda said that sometimes just even closing his eyes, it was too hard for him, that it was that draining. He would have needed a double lung transplant also to survive, and they said that his lungs looked like what someone who'd been smoking for over 50 years would have looked like. That's how damaged and scarred they were. So I mean, I really send out my thoughts to his baby son Elvis, who's only 1 year old, his beautiful wife Amanda. I can only imagine what they're going through. And also, guys, just remember, this is real, this is serious, it's affecting families, it's affected little baby Elvis. Please take it seriously.
Yeah, 41, and just so you know, Amanda said Nick was healthy, nothing was wrong with him before this. So good words from Steph. Thank you. We'll leave you with this Charlie Daniels song, "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." DBL's New Every Day. We'll see you tomorrow.
My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet you're gonna regret, cause I'm the best as ever been. Johnny rising up here, boy, playing fiddle hard, cause hell's broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. If you win, you get the shiny fiddle made of gold. If you lose, the devil gets you so.